compulsory and optional subjects and how to make choices with your futures in mind. This is an important and exciting time, as I already said, and my hope is that by the end of this assembly, you feel a high level of confidence about what is available to you, both in terms of subjects for next year and also all the support that is available to help you make good choices about those subjects. But first off, can we please etu for opening karakia? Okay. Whakataka te hau ki te uru. Whakataka te hau ki te tonga. Kia mā kina kina ki uta. Kia mā taratara ki tai. E hi aki ana te ata kura. Hei tio, hei huka, hei hohu, ti hei mauri ora. Okay. Thank you. Be seated. So, before we get all the way into the nitty-gritty of subject selection, I'm first going to welcome Ms. Leask to the stage. She's the Head of Department for Careers here at Epsom Girls Grammar School, and she's going to talk to you about what the Careers Department can do in terms of supporting you through subject selection. Thank you, Ms. Leask.
Morena. I'd like to talk to you just about a few things for you to consider when you're selecting your options over the next few weeks. It's very important that even if you have a particular career in mind at this stage, that you keep your choices broad so you're not getting too narrow just yet, because we need to always have a plan B for what we're going to do when we finish school. So do keep that in mind. I would really love to see you all on Wednesday afternoon and evening. Who's planning to come to our subject and careers information evening? Just a wee indication. That's lovely. Looking forward to seeing you all here. Because in the hall here will be all our tertiary providers. So by that I mean universities, polytechs, defence forces, trades, and all sorts of things that you might be interested in going into when you finish school. So do come along. Many of you will have looked at Career Central in your health classes. That's that careers program where you get to look at about yourself, things that are important to you, as well as doing some job research. And now is a really good time in tutor time to hop back into that program to see what your saved jobs are, and they will have subject suggestions for you. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm not sure what subjects to take, pop back into Career Central and have a look at that. And I do want to let you know that not all jobs require you to go to university. So if you don't want to go to university, that's fine. If you do want to go to university, that's fine. But remember, there are so many options out there. And over the next 3 weeks before your subject selections are due, you're welcome to come and see us in the careers office. Now, we're straight down that corridor and through the glass doors at the end. You can book to see us via eLearn, or you can come to see us Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday after school when we're a drop-in centre, and we'll be doing that for the next 3 weeks. So there's 2 ways to come and see us, but do look at all your resources to check out what you could be taking next year and what might be useful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Leask. So do take advantage of all the support and all the information that's available to you. And there's lots of it out there. So we're going to kind of crack into it now and get into the nitty-gritty of what Year 11 subject selection looks like. So first of all, I echo Ms. Leask's message that it's completely okay not to know in Year 10 what you want to be when you grow up or what you want to do after school. But you should start to imagine some possible options and areas of interest to help you inform your decision making. My advice to you is to keep your options open and also to seek challenge. When I was 15, I thought I might like to be a museum curator or a town planner or a teacher or a psychologist. So having lots of possible visions about future careers in mind helped me have a sense of purpose in making my subject selections. I did history and also biology and geography as options because they connected me to different interests and different potential career pathways. So don't forget, as a Year 10, you don't know yet what might fascinate you in the future. The advice to seek challenge is about not being limited by what you like right now or what you are good at right now. Mastery and success come with time and effort. If there is a subject you think you might need in the future, but it feels difficult and challenging, take it. Don't close doorways to yourself based on what you are good at right now. You can become good at almost anything with effort. So, in Year 11, you will study compulsory English and maths and also have access to many, many options. As part of your options, you must take compulsory science. So you can see that up on the screen right now. With each science subject running as a half-year course, you will need to take either 2 sciences or 4 sciences to create either a 1-year full course of science or 2 full courses of science. So you're either going to select 2 science options or 4 science options. So on the screen now, you can see a list of all the subjects available to you in Year 11. And as I said, this is up on Student eLearn in the Subject Selection tab, so you don't need to memorize anything. And it's also available on the school portal. So you have 6 subject lines in Year 11. Subject 1 is either English or ESOL. Subject 2 is maths, and you'll be placed in a maths class that is appropriate for your level based on how you've been going this year. Subject 3 is compulsory science, and as I said, you must either take 2 half-year sciences or 4 half-year sciences. And one thing to keep in mind with compulsory science is that physics, biology, and chemistry all have prerequisites in Year 12. A prerequisite means a requirement that you must meet before you can take a course. So that means that you can only study biology, chemistry, and physics in Year 12 if you do the matching Year 11 course. So earlier this year, the University of Auckland did some surveying with our students. I promise this is not a digression, it's relevant. And many of you answered that survey. All of the students at every year level had an opportunity to answer that survey. And you were asked about whether you were interested in science-related careers in your future, and also science-related careers in your future, such as engineering or medicine or psychology, these sorts of careers. And they also asked what subjects you were currently taking and intended to take next year. What the researchers found was that our students who are certain that they want a science-focused career in the future are taking science and maths subjects. Excellent, they're picking the right things. However, those who were undecided and thought they might want a science-related career in the future, but were also considering other options equally, were not selecting science and maths subjects. For example, one student might think, in the future I could be a lawyer, which is not a science-related career, an amazing career, but not a science-related career, or I could be an engineer. But that student wasn't necessarily selecting the science subjects that would keep the engineering pathway open. This meant the decision was being taken away from them in the future. The message here is, study what you want to study what you love, but as you make choices, pay attention to the subjects that have prerequisites in Year 12. If you are thinking you might need biology, chemistry, or physics in the future, you do need to take it next year. So imagine lots of possible careers and pathways for yourself at this stage. Think about what you are passionate about and also what our world needs, and make sure your decisions are well informed. If you have chosen 2 sciences, so back to the subject selection, if you've chosen 2 sciences, then your 4th subject comes from any of those in the bottom box, and your 5th and 6th subjects are also selected from any in that box. This is where your arts, languages, physical education, health, technology, and social sciences all sit. All of these disciplines carry bodies of knowledge that can lead you into exciting, fulfilling, and important careers in the future. So as you make your decisions, linking into resources that explain what those possible pathways are is essential. Next slide, please. So, a message for those of you who are applying to be part of the Cambridge program next year. If you're one of the students currently undertaking that application process, please do your subject selection as normal alongside all of the other students. If you're successful in being placed in Cambridge, we'll then move you into appropriate classes. If you're applying for Cambridge, please complete your subject selection as normal. So understanding Year 11 and what you're going to do next year as a bigger picture is really important. So at Epsom Girls Grammar School, we offer a taster of NCEA in Year 11. So you will do some external and internal standards for NCEA. You will do a full Year 11 course of learning, but you will not do a full NCEA Level 1. And the reason for this is that NCEA itself describes Level 1 as skills and knowledge that can be built upon. And Epsom Girls Grammar School has built a program that lays the foundations of really significant learning that will launch you into Year 12, even better than the NCEA Level 1 course would. By not doing the full NCEA, you get an additional 3 weeks of content-based learning in Year 11. So on the screen now, you can see some really important dates. You need to lock these in your mind, and as I said, they're on Student eLearn on the subject selection tab for you to view as well. The first one is this Wednesday, the 23rd of July, our Careers and Subject Information Evening. You should come to that and bring your caregiver along. I hope you're all planning to attend. So details of this evening were emailed to your parents last Monday. As I said, you can see them on subject selection, and there's lots of people that you can speak to there. You can also log into our school portal any time from today to view the details of all the courses that are available next year, and an email is being sent to your families today outlining the process of how to make your subject selections. However, and this is really important, that second date, you will not be able to make selections until Monday, the 28th of July. You can view them this week, you can view them right now, but you cannot click in and select the courses. The reason for this is it gives you this week to seek information and guidance before you start making those selections. So subject selection opens on Monday the 28th of July, next Monday. It then closes on Monday the 11th of August at 8 a.m. That's inflexible. So you do need to keep your eye on that date. And the way that your subject selection is completed is your parents log in and they approve your selections. So you need to talk with your parents and make sure they meet that deadline as well. Monday, the 11th August, 8 a.m. So this next bit, I'm going to talk to you about where to click, where to go to make your subject selections. And as I said, these slides are all up on eLearn. So the first thing you should do is you should visit the subject selection tab on eLearn, and you should read through the information on that page really carefully. And you should have a look at this PowerPoint, and you can have it open while you're working out where to click and where to browse. So when you're ready to start looking at your subjects and start making those selections, and you can try this today, you log in to the school portal. So you go to our school website, you click School Portal, you put your login details in, and then you're going to select School Bridge. School Bridge, and that's a screen grab from our school portal, is the platform we use to do our subject selections. Your parents also need to be able to log in, so maybe test that out with them this evening or this week. Next one. The third step is this week, before subject selection opens, you should log in and you should use the 2 icons I have circled on the screen. You should browse all the subjects available in the school through that Learning Areas tab. And you should also read through the Useful Information tab. There's a specific page for each year level telling you about your subject selections. When you're looking at subjects, I highly advise you look at ones that you're interested in for next year in Year 11, but you also look a little bit ahead and see what's available to you in Year 12 and 13, so that you're making choices that are leading somewhere over the next few years. Then, next Monday, on the 28th of July, when you log in, you'll have a new button available to you. And that button is the Course Selection homepage button. You'll click on that, and you'll read all the information on the homepage, and then you'll actually be able to start making your course selections. Step 5 is to view courses through the Learning Areas tab. There's a few ways you can view courses on SchoolBridge. You can view it through Learning Areas. You can also, there's like a Recommended for Me tab that you can click into. That Recommended for Me tab is okay, but it doesn't actually capture everything you can take. To see every course possible and available to you, you need to be looking and viewing through the Learning Areas. I've played with it a bit. I think that's the best way to look at the courses. Okay, next one. So, step 6 is to think about what courses are already mandatory for you. So as much as possible, I have already selected your mandatory courses and placed them into your course selection on this platform. However, there are some courses that we haven't pre-selected for you that you do have to take. So for instance, English is not pre-selected for you because some of you are going to pick English and some of you are going to select ESOL. So as you're making your selections, it's really important you've got in front of you exactly how many subjects you need to take and what you need to make sure you're selecting. You guys need to select at least 2 science subjects. So you need to know that because we haven't pre-selected those for you because there's a range for you to choose from. So you've got to keep in mind what's mandatory as you're making those selections. As you're browsing through your subjects, you should read the subject pages really carefully. So the teachers, the heads of the departments, and the learning area directors have spent a lot of time putting in all the possible information you could need into each of the subjects. So when you're reading through a subject page, I suggest you notice if there are any course costs associated with a subject. You notice if there are prerequisites. So that's a prerequisite is a requirement you must fulfill before you can take a course. Not many courses in Year 11 have prerequisites. Languages would be one of the ones that does. So you can only study French next year, for instance, if you've already studied it this year. But when you're browsing courses with prerequisites in mind, I suggest, as I said before, that you look ahead. At Year 12, what might you be interested in? Do those courses have requirements for what you select in Year 11? So just make sure you're across those requirements. You can also see on this page what credits are available to you in those courses and whether they're internal or externally assessed credits. Further down the page, you should notice the pathways that the subjects offer. So that little sort of tree diagram there, that is on every single subject page, and it shows you what you could take next year if you take this subject. There's also a link there to the Careers Navigator, which is the government website about careers. And the idea here is as you take selections, you should keep in mind what will it let me take as a subject next year or in Year 13, and what careers and pathways might it open for me. You can also notice who is the coordinator for the course. So that's the person you might approach if you need more information, and what the course involves, so what you will learn next year if you take that course. So step 10 is to add courses to your favorites. So as you're browsing, you should favorite things that you're interested in. You can add as many courses to your favorites as you like. So you can fill it up. It could have 30 courses if you wanted. And it's after you've got your favorites full, you go and you look at it and you build yourself in your mind what you actually think you'll take next year. And at that point, you press the Select Course button to add them into your selections. When you're making those selections, step 11 is to decide whether that selection is like a core selection or is a backup selection. It's really important you make backup selections because we absolutely endeavour to give every student their first choice of every course, but there will be some instances where we need to draw on your backup choices to build you a full course. So fill your backups as well and make sure they're courses you'd be happy to take. And then step 12, and this is the final step, is before 8 a.m. on Monday the 11th August, your parent or caregiver will log in and they will complete your entry by approving the courses you have selected. They can also remove those courses. So it's really important you're actually having conversations with your parents all the way through this process. It shouldn't be, midnight on the 10th that you go to them and say, approve my courses for me. You need to start talking to them this week and sit through this process with them. Okay. So before you start any of that though, please do come on Wednesday. Come on Wednesday and talk to all the subject experts around the school, ask questions, get guidance, and then from Monday next week, start making those selections. Okay. So I'm just going to finish with those important dates back up on the screen. So you're going to come on Wednesday to the Subject Expo. You're going to start making your selections from Monday next week, and you're going to finish everything by the 11th of August at 8 a.m. And all through that process, if you're unsure or uncertain or you need help or you're worried, you're going to reach out and you're going to seek support because there's so much of it here for you. So before we finish up today, thank you so much for your listening. I hope you're feeling confident and like you know what's happening. I'm just going to invite Mrs. Knowles onto the stage to give you some important messages. Thank you.
Morena Year 10. A little bit of a change of topic, but I just wanted to speak to you this morning about the sailing opportunity that is coming up in week 8 of this term. You and your families were emailed all of the information on Friday, which tells you what you need to do to sign up. It is not as simple as just saying, yes, I would like to come. There are limited places because obviously on a boat there are only so many bunks that we can allocate. So it is really important that if you are interested, that you complete the application form, but also that a member of your family, your caregiver or a parent completes the second application form for you as well. We cannot accept a student-only application. We do need parent or caregiver approval for you to be selected to then come on the trip. So some of you have already done that. You were very quick on Friday, so thank you very much for your enthusiasm. There are a number of steps we need to go through before the voyage, which, as I said, is in week 8. So we're week 2 today, so it is 6 weeks away today that we actually start. So there's a number of things that need to happen between now and then. The first thing is that selections will be confirmed by the end of this week. So your application forms, both yours and a parent or caregivers, are due this Wednesday. So they have to be in by that date. If it is late, we won't be accepting those, okay? Each year we tend to have more applications than places, so we do have to go through that process of looking at your answers, looking at how you would benefit from it, and then selecting those who do get to come on the voyage. So unfortunately, generally there's not enough places for everyone who wants to, so we will endeavour to come back to you by this Friday, so that you will know whether you are coming or not. And then if you are selected, there are a series of things that we will do in preparation, like having the Sailing Trust come out and speak to you, make sure you're really aware of just what it is like to be on a boat for 4 full days and sleeping on that boat as well. So this week the key things are that today at lunchtime I'm going to be in DSO, so that's the classroom. If you come out here, go around to the side, it's the graduated classroom at the very bottom of D block at the far end, and I'll be there to answer any questions that you may have. So it's not an official meeting for those who have signed up. If you feel you know everything you need to know, that is fantastic. This is more of a Q&A for those of you who aren't sure, who have questions, and would like to know some more things about the opportunities. So that's today at lunchtime. As I said, the other really key date this week is Wednesday. We must have your applications in. We cannot accept late ones because the deadline for the payment and us sending your names to the Sailing Trust is next week. So it has to be by this Wednesday, and we will endeavour to let you know by Friday if you have been selected for the voyage. So the key thing is that today at lunchtime, if you've got any questions, please come along, DSO, and we'll endeavour to answer any questions. And then those of you who have already applied and those of you who eventually become selected, we will communicate with you via some emails with the gear list and all of the other exciting information you need after that. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, we have a few minutes left, so what I'm going to do is we'll do the closing karakia, and then we'll just sit in here and you can talk and sit quietly till the bell goes, but I'll also be available and come down if anyone has any questions about that subject selection stuff as well. So please, Etu, for closing karakia. Hia whakaiwa te tapu, hia wai te ai te ara, hia turiki whakataha ai, hia turiki whakataha ai, homie, hui, taiki e. Kia ora. Please just be seated till the bell goes. Ooh. come down the front.